The city of North Point had forgotten what silence felt like. Every night, sirens sang louder than lullabies. Neon lights drowned the stars. And in the spaces between skyscrapers, deals were made that traded lives for profit. No one believed in heroes anymore. Elias Rourke didn't either. He was a systems engineer working for Voltis Industries, the company that powered the entire city. They called Voltis the heart of progress. But Elias knew it was a machine that ran on greed. Still, he kept his head down and fixed circuits, pretending not to notice the rot. He'd once dreamed of designing clean energy tech, something that would heal the world. But idealism was expensive. And reality paid better. Everything changed the night the grid went dark. It wasn't supposed to happen. The city's energy network was fully automated, fully secured. And yet, one by one, the lights blinked out, not from failure, but from theft. When Elias traced the data flow, he saw it. Someone was siphoning power through a ghost system that shouldn't exist. A hidden circuit, buried deep beneath the official code. He followed it into the bowels of Voltis Tower. What he found was not a hacker, but a machine. A pulsating sphere of black metal, humming with stolen electricity. And next to it, his mentor, Dr. Corbin Vale, a man he'd once admired. "You weren't supposed to see this," Vale said quietly. "What is it?" Elias asked. Vale smiled sadly. "The end of dependency. The beginning of control." Before Elias could react, the machine exploded in light. Pain seared through him, electricity crawling through his veins, rewriting him from the inside out. He screamed, and everything went white. When he awoke, the city lights had returned. But he hadn't. He felt different. His heartbeat synced with the hum of power lines. When he reached for his coffee mug, the lights flickered. When he breathed too deeply, the toaster exploded. He was connected, literally, to the city's power grid. Every electronic current whispered to him, every network pulse echoed in his skull. He tried to hide it. He wrapped himself in layers of control, learning to breathe through the static. But the city didn't let him rest. Reports came in of strange blackouts, and figures moving in the dark. A new gang had risen, calling themselves the Circuit Men. They wore high-voltage suits and hijacked power from Voltis itself. And their leader, Corbin Vale, alive. Changed. Elias knew then that the explosion had altered them both. But where he gained empathy for the current, a connection, Vale had gained hunger. He wanted control, total and absolute. Elias couldn't go to the police. Voltis owned them. He couldn't go to the press. Voltis owned that too. So he built something else. Using his engineering background, he designed a conductive suit woven with graphene mesh to stabilize his power. He added a visor that filtered electromagnetic signals into visual data. Every frequency, every surge, every heartbeat in the grid, he could see it. He became the shadow circuit, a ghost that moved through the current. His first night out, he stopped a hijacking in the industrial district. The thieves never saw him, only the lights flickering and a voice in the dark. When the smoke cleared, he was gone. The news called it a glitch in the system. But word spread. Criminals started whispering about the man who traveled through electricity. A myth. A warning. A spark of hope. For months, Elias fought a war no one saw. Each victory came at a cost, his body overloaded after every surge. He'd wake up with burns across his arms, his vision blurred by static. He tried to tell himself it was worth it. But then Vale returned. Dr. Vale appeared on every screen in North Point one night. He'd hijacked the city's broadcast grid. "People of North Point," he said, "Voltis has enslaved you. But I can free you." I will take your power, and give it back cleansed. Moments later, entire districts went dark. Hospitals, traffic systems, homes, all dead. Elias traced the signal to the old subway tunnels. There, Vale had built a new machine, massive, alive, and hungry. He called it the Heartstorm. It was pulling energy from every power source in the city, including Elias himself. Elias fought through the tunnels, every step a battle against the magnetic field. Vale waited for him in the center, glowing with unnatural light. You can't stop me, Vale said. You and I are the same current, you're just the weaker wire. Maybe, Elias replied. But even a short circuit can stop a system. The battle was chaos. Sparks turned to lightning. Metal melted. Each strike drained Elias. But he refused to stop. He overloaded his suit, channeling every volt he could summon. The Heartstorm screamed as the system looked back on itself. Vale lunged at him, shouting, "You'll destroy everything." "Maybe it needs destroying," Elias said. And unleashed everything. The explosion shook North Point. When the smoke cleared, the Heartstorm was gone. So was Vale. Elias woke days later in the ruins of Volti's tower. The power grid had reset. The city still stood. But something was wrong. Every screen flickered with his heartbeat. Every current still whispered his name. He realized then, he'd become the circuit itself. He could feel the pulse of every streetlight, every data stream, every phone charging in the night. He was the city's nervous system. But he was still human. He rebuilt Voltis from the inside, secretly reprogramming its infrastructure to serve people, not profit. He installed safeguards against corruption, all tied to his own consciousness. If the company ever turned dark again, he'd feel it. By day, Elias Rourke returned to his quiet engineer's life. By night, he walked the rooftops as a living current. He didn't wear a cape. He didn't want fame. He wanted balance. The people began to feel safer. Power outages dropped. Crime rings disappeared quietly. Rumors said a man in black light armor haunted the transformers and alleys. Kids called him the ghost of the grid. Others called him the spark. He called himself nothing. But the peace didn't last. 1 year later, a strange new signature appeared on his network, something not human, not Vale, but intelligent. It spoke through 1,000 devices at once. You freed the city. Now free the world. Elias stared at the skyline, feeling the hum of possibility. He thought of his mentor, of the machine that started it all, of the line between savior and tyrant. Then he whispered to the current, "Let's see what we can fix next." The lights of North Point flickered once, not in fear, but in salute. And then they steadied, burning brighter than ever. Because somewhere in that endless web of power lines and signals, a man was watching. A man made of voltage and conscience. A man who'd become both guardian and grid. And as long as there was electricity in North Point, there would be the shadow circuit. He didn't just protect the city. He was the city. And for the first time in a long time, North Point slept peacefully, humming quietly under the pulse of its living light.